Chapter 1. The Curse and the Encounter 1. Introduction. Lord Varian's condition. For Lord Varian, the end of the road was approaching. Gravesend Castle was a place where ominous whispers from the depths of history echoed. From the high towers of the castle, looking out over green valleys and deep forests, a kingdom seemed lost in the mist. Its ruler, Lord Varian Gravesend, was a powerful and cruel tyrant. His just governance had provided his people with a safe life, but everything came with a price. Varian ruled through fear, but at the same time, he offered them luxury and peace. However, no one knew of the curse the tyrant had to endure. Every night, Lord Varian's sleep was overtaken by dark nightmares. The nightmares were filled with terrifying images from his past. He saw the death of his ancestors, their cursed deals made centuries ago, and the horrific scenes of suffering they had endured. Death, fire, pain, and betrayal. One after another they haunted him. Varian's eyes trembled with fear even after waking, as those terrifying visions, which never left his mind, led him to a psychological collapse. The nightmares grew worse with each passing night, blurring the line between reality and imagination. A feeling of loss and empty space began to grow in his mind. The only solution to escape these nightmares was to break the curse. But how could he free himself from it? Varian's mental decline wasn't limited to just nightmares. He began to make clear mistakes in his decisions, and he was starting to lose control over his people. The kingdom's external enemies were watching for opportunities to take advantage of Varian's weakness, while internal rebellions were on the rise. The king stood at the edge of a painful decision. If he didn't put an end to this downfall, his bloodline would end due to the curse. The curse of the past came to life in Lord Varian's mind. He knew he was the last heir of the Gravesend family, but his bloodline had made a pact with a demonic entity centuries ago for the sake of great power. Since then, the Gravesend bloodline had weakened with each passing generation, and now, Varian's situation was the inevitable end of this curse. The pact with the demonic being was slowly draining the health and strength of every member of the family, and now, Varian was feeling the full force of it. Lord Varian decided to uncover the truth behind this monstrous deal. He went deep into the castle, seeking the secrets of the past. His ancestors had made a deal with the devil to win a great war. Many sorcerers and advisors had failed to provide a solution to end the curse, but one name kept echoing: Witch Seraphine. She was one of the most feared enemies of the Gravesend family. While she was feared, she was also known for her beauty and legendary powers. However, her ties to witchcraft and the past enmity made her a great threat in Lord Varian's eyes. Thus, the frequent mention of Seraphine's name created a strange dilemma for Varian. He needed to make a deal with her. But this woman had been his greatest enemy in the past, and only later would he realize where this decision would take him. Once upon a time, Witch Seraphine and Lord Varian had faced each other on the battlefield to win a war. In that battle, Seraphine's magical powers clashed with Varian's strategic mind, and both had caused each other serious harm. Varian had always seen Seraphine as an enemy, but this time, he would have to make an offer to her. Seraphine, although once an enemy, was the key to ending Lord Varian's nightmares and the curse. Reluctantly, Varian summoned her. Seraphine greeted him with a mixed expression of complex feelings. She had seen him as an enemy for years, but secretly, she had fallen in love with him. Now she would embark on a journey with him for a shared purpose. Seraphine, who had secretly harbored her feelings for years, dreamed of confessing her love to Varian during this journey. But first, she had to gain his trust. "I can lift your curse," Seraphine said, "but it wouldn't be easy. However, you must go back in time and break that deal, and I will accompany you as your guide." Lord Varian remained cautious about Seraphine's offer, but he realized he had no other choice. When his trusted advisors suggested Seraphine as his last hope, he had no option but to accept her offer. And so, two former enemies decided to set out on a journey without trusting each other. Varian had no choice but to follow Seraphine, yet he would never trust her and would constantly question her true intentions. Seraphine, on the other hand, had to earn Varian's trust. This journey was not only to end the curse, but also to give her the chance to reveal her love for him. They had made their first agreement. Now, they would travel deep into time, and Seraphine would accompany him as a guide to the past. Chapter 2. The Journey Through Time and the Birth of Love. Seraphine and Lord Varian carefully stepped forward as they ventured deeper into the black forest. The towering trees twisted into one another, their leaves whispering with the gentle caress of the wind. The dark atmosphere of the forest served as a constant reminder that this journey transcended time itself. Though they were close in proximity, the distrust between them was vast. Varian scrutinized Seraphine's every movement, questioning her intentions. However, Seraphine was not only determined to alter the past, but also to win the Lord's heart. Throughout their journey, they passed through abandoned villages and desolate lands. The people and creatures that once thrived here had long since vanished. The silence followed them like a haunting specter with every step. Varian's nightmares, once confined to his mind, seemed to be taking shape around him. The old memories, cold as death's touch, clung to him relentlessly. Seraphine. The end begins with turning back. With each step, we get closer. Not just to changing the past, but to something else. A fate waiting to unfold. Varian paid no heed to her words. He still did not trust her, yet he knew he would need her before this journey was over. No matter what, he would have to follow her lead. Varian. Time means nothing to me. But I know what you want, Seraphine, and no matter what happens, I won't allow it. His inner darkness made him distant and silent. Yet, day by day, they were drawing closer. For Seraphine, this journey was not just about breaking a curse, it was an opportunity to truly know Varian. But earning his trust, defying years of enmity, would be no easy feat. With time, the cold distance between them began to thaw. As they grew accustomed to each other, small gestures of familiarity formed. Seraphine's feelings for Varian deepened, though she hesitated to express them. Her emotions had become an obsession. Though Varian looked down on her, she was drawn to his strength, his leadership, and the fragility he tried so hard to hide. Yet, she could not decipher his feelings. This journey had brought them together, but their bond was not yet passion. It was obligation. One evening, as they camped in a secluded valley, Varian woke from his nightmares, his breathing uneven. Seraphine, gazing at the starry sky, tried to calm her mind. As she turned, she saw Varian standing beside her, restless and weary. Varian. Seraphine. I must share my nightmares with you. Every night the same visions, so vivid as if they are real. I see my ancestors dying, and I know I must pay their price. Seraphine took a deep breath, placing her hand on his shoulder. She could feel his pain. His nightmares were no longer just visions. They had become an undeniable truth within him. Day by day, her concern for him deepened. Seraphine. Being here with you in this moment, you can trust me, Varian. I will prove it to you. The nightmares will end. We will find true peace. Together. Though Varian remained outwardly indifferent, the darkness within him began to waver in her presence. Each night, his sleepless torment faded slightly. Seraphine was affecting him, not just physically, but spiritually as well. After a grueling journey, their destination finally loomed before them. The dark, ominous temple where the demon resided. This temple, once a site of forbidden rituals for the dead, was where the demonic pact had been forged. Varian and Seraphine had come to sever those chains forever. A suffocating silence surrounded the temple. As they stepped inside, lingering, malevolent spirits disturbed the air with their presence. There would be no turning back. At last, a dark figure emerged, the demon. Legends called him by many names, but they all spoke of the same being, the Lord of Darkness. Demon. Varian, Seraphine, I have been expecting you. The curse is nearing its end, but the price is steep. For centuries, your ancestors paid their debt by marrying those I chose. Now, to end this contract, you must marry Seraphine. Only by forging a true bond and continuing your bloodline will I erase the curse. At Seraphine's insistence, Varian sealed the deal through a blood pact, an unbreakable contract that, if betrayed, would erase their souls from existence. They exchanged glances, grasping the gravity of what had been set in motion. This offer would force them to confront their deepest fears and wounds. Seraphine. True love. Are we ready for this, Varian? Varian. This isn't just a journey. It's a choice. I accept it. And at that moment, at the very point where everything had begun, the chains of the past unraveled. The curse was broken. And in their union, Varian and Seraphine realized that even in darkness, true love could be born. Upon their return from the temple, Varian and Seraphine's lives had changed irrevocably. Lord Varian's nightmares had ceased, and for the first time his lineage had a chance to continue. The time they had spent together had solidified their bond. As he returned to his people, Varian stood as a stronger ruler, free from the ghosts of his past. He had finally found peace. And one day, the bond between Seraphine and Varian bore fruit. Seraphine was with child, a symbol of the curse's end. Their offspring would ensure the continuation of Varian's bloodline, securing a future where justice would reign. Closing. Lord Varian, now free of his nightmares, returned to his people as a wiser and stronger ruler. True peace had been found, with Seraphine at his side and the shadows of the past finally behind him. From the depths of the shadows, the demon whispered, "Just as I planned, true love is the most dangerous curse of all."
Subscribe for more videos.